All right, let's talk about Kubernetes. You've probably heard this word buzzing around, maybe in a class or on YouTube, and it sounds kind of like a sci-fi robot, right? But what if I told you it's one of the most critical tools in tech today? Stick with me, because you're about to see exactly why it's such a massive deal.
So, let's set the scene. Imagine you and your buddies build an app. A cool side project. You push it live, and then, boom, it just explodes. It goes viral overnight. I mean, this is the absolute dream, isn't it? But what happens next? Well, that's what makes or breaks you.
Because that dream scenario can flip into a total nightmare, like fast. All that traffic, all those new users, it's a huge wave crashing down on your system. And if you're not ready for that kind of scale, things are going to start breaking. Badly.
And the first thing to go? Yep, your servers. They just get completely swamped and start toppling over, one by one. And believe me, trying to manually spin up new servers while the whole thing is on fire, it's way too slow. You're just playing catch-up, and you're already losing.
And your users? Oh, they notice. Immediately. The app grinds to a halt, error messages are popping up all over the place, and your Twitter mentions are just a wall of angry people. Your awesome new reputation? It's taking a serious nosedive, right in front of your eyes.
And here's the kicker. Every single second your app is down, every user that gets fed up and leaves, that's money you're losing. That dream launch just turned into a really, really expensive disaster. And this isn't some made-up problem. This is the reality of trying to operate at scale.
And just to put scale into perspective for you, that number, 500 million. That's about how many active users Spotify deals with. Can you imagine trying to manage that by hand? No way. It's completely impossible. You need a much, much better way to handle it. And that's where this idea of container orchestration comes in. The best way to think about it is like having an automated captain for your ship, one that can navigate through the craziest storms without even breaking a sweat. This is how the big players stay afloat.
So, what exactly is it orchestrating? Well, it's managing these things called containers. Just think of a container as a neat little box that has your app and everything it needs to run all bundled up inside. Orchestration is the magic that automatically deploys, manages, and scales thousands of these little boxes. It's the captain telling the whole fleet where to go and what to do.
Okay, so if orchestration is the concept, what's the actual tool? Well, the undisputed champ, the industry standard, is Kubernetes. You'll often see it shortened to K8s or Kates. It was born at Google, and now it's basically the engine powering the entire modern cloud world.
So how does this whole thing actually work? Instead of drowning in tech jargon, let's use a simple analogy that makes everything click. Let's pretend our entire system is a bustling, high-end restaurant kitchen.
Here are the key players. You've got the control plane. That's our head chef, the brains of the whole operation. Then you have the worker nodes. Those are the cooking stations, where all the work actually happens. And finally, the pod. That's like a single chef working on one specific dish, which is your app. So let's start with the control plane, our head chef. Now, the head chef doesn't actually cook the food. Nope, their job is to stand back and oversee everything. They take the incoming orders, which are your commands, and decide which cooking station is the best place to make that dish. It's the master brain of the kitchen. Then you have the worker nodes. These are the muscle, the workhorses. Think of them as the actual cooking stations in the kitchen, the grills, the ovens, the prep tables. These are your servers, the machines that have all the resources needed to do the heavy lifting and actually run your apps. And finally, the pod. This is the most basic building block. The pod is what holds your application. So in our kitchen, a pod is like a single chef who's been told to make one specific dish. The worker node gives them the station, and the pod is the chef doing the actual work. Okay, so we've met the kitchen crew. Now let's see how they handle that viral app nightmare we talked about earlier. This is where the real magic of Kubernetes comes into play. It's called self-healing. Let's go back to our kitchen. In a super busy kitchen, mistakes happen, right? A chef gets distracted for a second, and oops, they burn a dish. In a normal system, that's a problem. A customer isn't getting their food. But in our Kubernetes kitchen, something amazing happens.
Watch this. Step 1. Crash. A pod fails. Our chef burns the dish. Step 2. Detect. The control plane, our head chef, sees that mistake instantly. Step 3. Replace. It immediately sends a new pod to a healthy worker node. In other words, a new chef is assigned to a working station to remake that dish right away. And step 4, recovered. Just like that, the The system is back to normal.
And the result? The customer never even knew anything went wrong. The ruined dish was replaced before it ever became a problem. And this all happens automatically, in seconds, without a single human having to freak out or even lift a finger. That is self-healing, and it is an absolute game changer.
So we've seen how Kubernetes works its magic to keep apps alive. But let's bring this back to you. Why does this matter for your career? As a CS student, this isn't just about learning another piece of software. It's about understanding a fundamental shift in how we build things.
And this quote right here, it nails it. Mastering Kubernetes is really no longer optional if you're serious about a career in tech. This isn't just some extra bullet point for your resume. It's becoming a foundational skill, period.
I mean, just look at what this opens up for you. It's the industry standard, a must-have skill for DevOps and cloud engineering roles. It powers pretty much every modern app you can think of. And because the demand for people who get this is so high, the salaries are too. This is your ticket to some of the most exciting jobs out there.
So the main takeaway is simple. Getting a handle on Kubernetes puts you right at the heart of where the entire software industry is heading. It really is a gateway to a career that's high impact and high demand, and yeah, high paying. Which really just leaves us with one last question. Now that you've seen how it can automate, heal, and scale things without breaking a sweat, are you ready to stop putting out fires and start being the one in strategic control of how modern software actually runs?